Welcome to this fantastic series focused on leadership, happiness and well-being. In this series, we will be interviewing leading experts looking at pragmatic solutions that increase happiness and well-being that help you, your team and your business grow and thrive. Hi, I'm Mark Hookey with over 30 years experience leading change and transformation and developing leaders. Today I'll be interviewing Eleanor Ock, owner of My Brain Coach, an accredited coach and neurofeedback specialist, helping executives perform at their very best. Eleanor, thank you so much for being here with me today. I've known you for 10 or 8 years now as a guru in organisation and leadership development, but recently you've been diving into the topic of neurofeedback, which I find fascinating. So tell me a little bit about your journey into neurofeedback and why you've pivoted your career in that direction.
Thank you, Mark, for inviting me and for your kind comments. And before I describe what neurofeedback is, let me ask you a question back.
Yeah.
How many times did you wonder post-event what the hell got into your head, saying this or doing that or reacting to a comment from a colleague in a totally exaggerated manner? Or why the hell did you snap at your partner this morning or yell at the child for a tiny issue?
Oh, many, many times, all the time.
Well, I definitely wondered as well a couple of times about the almighty power which gets over my usually cheerful and kind self.
Yeah.
And so my clients would bring these topics into coaching. And I always use different models like behavioral coaching. We go deeper with transformational coaching, or as you know, we would apply situational leadership. And it was useful. We'd get insight and commitment and develop practices to get better, only to find ourselves in a similar situation, maybe with different people or different events. And that was frustrating. And so since early years, I've been fascinated by the workings of the brain. And interestingly, the part of the brain we talk to during coaching might seem significant, but in fact, it controls just a tiny fraction of decisions taken by the brain every second. So no wonder the conscious control is taken over by automatic responses. And so what if we could change those automatic responses to serve us well in all sorts of stressful situations? And so I was determined to find a method to effectively support my clients to get and stay on the path of well-being, peak performance, and true fulfillment. Here comes neurofeedback. It's a brain training method based on biological principles of neuroplasticity and the brain's setup for constant learning. So now we add 50 years of technology development, and here we are. Algorithms translate your brainwave activity into training programs, making it as a visual feedback to your brain about its own workings. And what do we know about good feedback, right? You get better, and our brains get better. They optimize themselves in a natural way. And you ask me why I bring that in? Well, I do see that bringing that bottom-up element into a professional coaching program is a powerful and much needed evolution of leadership development.
So why is this for you such an important topic, and why is it bringing such great results?
Well, we're talking about also top-down in coaching, the metacognition. And the metacognition is described as thinking about own thinking. And there's been quite a lot of research into metacognition, and all conclusions point to how essential this skill is for learning, recovery, resilience, and overall success. Right. And so my first feedback in life was, you think too much. Mark, I was 7, and my parents were seriously concerned that me thinking too much might cause mental health issues. And of course, the opposite is true. So using our ability to think, we actually can feel better and live better. For example, a lot of leadership stress is caused by the brain's assumptions about the future, and particularly self in the future. Well, the brain is built to make constant assumptions, but the past experience feeds into brain's predictive ability, and more often than not, it generates unfavorable or stressful picture. And of course, for leaders, it's important to think forward, to self-check, to correct for bias. I'm thinking with so many topics entering leadership agenda daily, the experience from the past may not be the good indicator of the future. So here comes metacognition, learning to observe our thoughts. We can actually learn about our concepts we hold and hidden beliefs and automatic assumptions about the world, other people, and ourselves. And it could well be that some of those automatic assumptions or hidden beliefs are roadblocks to us, to our feelings of well-being and happiness.
So, building on that, then, what are you now doing with leaders, individuals, organizations?
Right, in a neurodigital coaching program, I help leaders gain better understanding of the way their brains operate. But more importantly, the program is designed to get you control and mastery of your mental states. And by mental states, I mean flexible shifting from sharp focus to relaxed attention, to contemplation, or even to creative insight. So we use individual, unique brain signature to focus on strengths, correct inefficiencies, and then build good thinking habits.
How can leaders kind of take some pragmatic actions with the work that you do?
Whilst learning to reflect on our own thoughts is how we gain insight into our feelings, needs, and behavior. It's also how we learn and adapt and manage and learn about new experiences. So it's a constant conversation we have in our head. So make sure this conversation is constructive with a touch of curiosity, and ask yourself now and then, in which way thinking that is useful now? And the second thing, though we're talking about thinking today, I want to leave you with a message about feelings. Linda Feldman Barrett is a leading expert on emotions and the neuroscience of emotions. And she presents a convincing body of research how our brain creates feelings. So emotions are just concepts, largely formed by our social environment. So learning to think and thinking why and what exactly I'm feeling may actually make you feel better. And remember, your brain may make you feel uncomfortable now about some completely hypothetical event in the future. So I advise leaders to take time and care to separate assumptions from facts, reality from imagination, some single past experience from a huge number of possibilities and probabilities. And this is not a call for positive thinking, this is an invitation to shine a light of consciousness on your thinking.
So really dive into your own thoughts and feelings, but take time. I like the way you said time and care, which is an important part. So who are you looking to help and support with the programs that you're running?
Well, if you're interested to get a shift for yourself and your team from managing and struggling and coping to thriving through peak performance and well-being, then I'm the right coach for you. And so happiness can be a choice if you have the right tools and if you're ready to challenge the way you think.
So let me try and sum up. You've covered a vast amount in what you've said. So focusing on metacognition, taking time and care to explore your own thoughts and way of thinking, especially when thinking about the future, what anxieties may lie ahead, how you're approaching those anxieties. You started to touch on differentiating between kind of an imagined future versus what are the facts of the future. And then changing the way your thought process works about thinking about the future so that you can be far more successful. You can reduce the levels of anxiety and stress that might come with those possibilities out in the future. And just linking it to the neurofeedback for a moment, because you're able to really physically measure what is going on inside the brain, you're able to identify specific coaching or even training in the performance sense so that you really optimize your brain performance.
Absolutely.
So that you're thinking about the now and the future means that you can make better decisions, be more positive about your outlook, and really be more successful in life and your career.
Yes, absolutely.
So what would be your final words of wisdom in a couple of sentences?
Well, we regularly update our wardrobes and we renovate and redecorate our homes and we upgrade our digital devices, of course. And so updating our thinking is a must for leaders and for anyone who wants to stay active and resilient in life. And training and retraining our brains for optimal functioning is a fantastic opportunity for holistic well-being and inspiring leadership. And finally, thank you, Mark, for making me completely revise my assumptions about being video interviewed.
Well, thank you very much for joining. It's been a pleasure, and personally I've even learned so much in the last 20 minutes and also from you previously. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.